Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Halidom Hotspot, your one-stop shop for all things Dragalia Lost. And as always, I'm your host, Orthodox. And joining me, we have the co-host, LERART.
Hey, I'm LERART,
Yes.
also known as Orthodox.
Never. And our co-host, GLACE.
Hi, I'm GLACE, also known as LERART.
Oh no, please.
Um,
Our role-playing is coming into light.
No, God.
It was a time, but that's
yeah.
the Halidom at Night podcast special, the unreleased version of the podcast, which is not rated E for everyone.
Like and subscribe and comment too. Always remember to comment if you want us to make Hallowed Up Tonight a real thing.
Yeah,
We can make that a thing, right?
there's been requests for it, so we would have to see.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, and of course, if you are a member in the Discord, definitely we have a new channel open for discussion in regards to the Halidom hotspot. So be sure to visit, send us requests of things that you'd like us to talk about in these interim weeks, if you will. This week, there really isn't too much to talk about, so it's going to kind of be more of a casual week. We got a couple news to cover, some theory crafting to go over, but for the most part, it's us being us. So our experiences in DL and kind of gearing up for the anniversary. So boys, what are you thinking?
Yeah,
I'm not geared up for anniversary at all.
I am chilling. I have 75k Warmite and a lot of tickets. So
Ooh.
I have like 7k worm right.
Wow, GLACE, where did all your Wormite go?
Summer Patia. Then Windrez ability for Mega Man. And then I was I was weak. And I summoned on the Shadow Only banner because I really wanted Grace. Spoiler
GLACE,
alert,
no.
I did not get her.
How much Wormite did
Yes.
you spend?
Like 3k.
GLACE, no.
I know, I'm sorry.
Mr. Okada is placing
I
these
should've
banners
asked you
for
first.
us as bait.
I know, but the thing is that the only thing I'm really truly saving for is either Grace, Tobias, which I'm gonna dream someone probably great when anniversary. Dear me, dream someone, the other one, get one of them, or like Mega Man, collab
Mm-hmm.
again, or like Galapadia.
All of those would be pretty darn good. Yeah, we do have a collab coming up, so which will be announced at the Digest, and we can obviously talk about that, next week as we get a little bit closer. There should be a login bonus, countdown to anniversary login bonus that they've typically done, so that'll be exciting too. We'll just have to see.
hopefully they give us some sunlight stones because I'm needing those.
Aren't we all?
I need to.
Yeah.
It's time for me to blow my sunlight
Big
stones on
chunk
something
of-
good, like Cerberus.
Or Big Chunga.
No, please. Do not use sunstones on any dragon that you can farm with Draconic Essence.
Yeah.
No, I'm Big Chungus. Big Chungus isn't farm.
Oh, no.
Chungus
I
is
said
amazing.
Cerberus, and then both of you guys were like, yeah. And I was like, no! No! Guys, no!
Spin those stones on Cerberus.
You're just like, yeah, 60 strength, that's really good. We're playing DL for the first year.
Right.
So-
This week we had Sands of Revelation as the new event, and we got Nefaria in the. What's the name of the dragon? It's
Horus. is
Horus?
yeah. So I'm just pulling up the event here. So we have
I'll be honest, I have not played it yet.
Incognito Nefaria as the name of the alt, right?
AKA E-Girl Nefaria.
Yes, E-Girl Nefaria. Her fingernails match her eyes, which, to be honest, when I was looking at the first art for Nefaria, I did not know that her eyes were so emerald or teal in coloration. I guess that's not what I was looking at the time. But now, since it's first and foremost given in the art, I noticed it. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting piece of art. This kind of shows us more of Nadine's closet, as in the event, the first event story. Nadine is going to a rave in the desert, all right, and Nefaria wanted to come with to see more of her homeland, right? And obviously she can't go dressed as a queen, so they have her. Nadine has this wild plan. She's like, listen, why don't you wear some of my clothes and come with me to the rave, and you can see your homeland.
I actually didn't read the story. Like, I played through the event, but I didn't read the story because
Bro,
I
yeah.
cannot stand how Nadine talks.
Bro, I'm dying. This story is so wacky. Like you think about it, of all the people, you have Nadine, right, going to a rave in the desert, and then she's taking Nefaria, the old queen of this land, right? And she's seeing her subjects, right, as they're having a party in the middle of nowhere, like just in the sand.
It's a rave in the desert.
Yeah, it's just like a goofy
every
concept,
time you're
right?
enforcing that it's in the desert. It's not just a rave; it's a rave in the desert.
Yeah,
Yes.
like, who's gonna go like, oh, you know what? Let's make a party on a desert, like where there's nothing to
Not
do.
even like the beach.
You'd be
Yeah.
surprised. They do a lot of
Just
they
the
do a lot of
desert.
weird things like that. Like there's something in the area that is called Electric Forest, right? And it's like a random forest, and they pipe speakers throughout the whole forest, and it's just like EDM music and stuff. And
my
God.
it's like part of the rave, and you're like camping, but you're raving. It's the weirdest thing.
Okay, so,
Like it's,
So, like-
it's clearly not for me, right? But like there are
Yeah.
people that love it.
but I mean, it's, like, it's a forest. Like, there's camping is cool, but like desert,
Hmm.
what? There's nothing on the desert. At least like on a forest, there's like trees or something.
There's
Yeah.
sand.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? A desert is really just a beach without water.
Yes.
So, it's just there's no sharks.
Yeah. What's the fun without sharks?
But that being said, that's a little bit
I
of the
mean-
story for the event. I don't really want to go too far into the story, just because it's been this is the first day for people to have played in the event. But I have to say it is pretty amusing. They say it's a fashion show here in the news title, but it's a rave. It's a rave. There is, it's. She was going to like a festival or something, as she had stated. So.
Spoiled it for me, Orthodox.
No
I
spoilers.
wasn't gonna look at the event.
Yeah.
Ruined the event for me.
So, we also have water and flame tomes.
Yeah.
So,
I
Yeah.
needed those water tomes, to be honest.
Oh my god, yeah.
what are you
I-
using
I-
your water tomes on?
Summer Celiara and yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
I
yeah,
might get a
yeah.
box tail as well for like.
Eugene sounds like a good skill too.
Mm-hmm. Those are definitely worth it. The problem with the shared skill system right now is that not only do they require the tomes, which are pretty much Dimantium only, they also require you, to use multiple Champions Testaments, at least
Yeah.
one, right?
Yeah.
So, for me, it's kind of like I got Yue's skill right with the last defense battle, and even spending a single Champion's Testament to 50 MC her, I was like, I just felt pain. I was like, shout outs to Rainbow in the Discord, but they did an analysis for how many Champion's Testaments we're getting, and it's like less than 10 a month. So, it's really hard to justify some of the expenses, especially when we actually had the new spirals come out, right? Vanessa and Marty, which was just a surprise to us because we didn't expect anything. So we have Vanessa and Marty and their flame adventurers, but the thing is that flame is so stacked, it's really hard to justify spiraling them, just for the fact that you have so many good options, right? You have Galaxy, you have Marth, right?
And like, I feel like
Mhm.
especially Marty is like, it's not even like bad spiral.
Right.
I mean, it's not amazing either, but like, Flame Sword has so many good units.
Right. To me, the way
Like,
they did these
Uden and
units,
Carl.
and Carl as well, you said.
Yeah,
Glace?
like Uden and Carl, I think are just better investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes it really hard too, right? Because
Marty also burns with skill 1, which like, I don't know.
yeah.
Not a
I
big
mean,
fan.
technically, not burning with Vanessa um, adds to her longevity, right? If we move out of this affliction meta. The thing that makes it more interesting for me is they gave her S1 immunity to knockback for 15 seconds, and it's her shareable skill.
Yeah, I thought about using that on Kirsty.
Right. So now if you have Scarlet Geyser on Kirsty, you can keep your Dauntless Strength forever. Um, and that's 60% strength. So it's kind of nice, but I feel as if they made flame spirals, right, and we just got tomes. So I'm thinking that the idea was that you could spend your tomes and spiral one of these adventurers just for the skill, because Vanessa's a 5-cost skill, gives decent flame damage and then immunity to knockback. I think it's about like 8k SP on the shared cost. And then you have Marty's, which is 3, grants a shield, and then increases strength by 15. I think that this is a translation error, though, because there's no time limit on the strength, but the JP version says 15 seconds. So we'll have to see if they make an announcement or an adjustment. But otherwise, the way that this reads is that as long as you have the Safeguard Surge shield from Marty, you would also have the 15% strength buff, which would actually make it decent on a healer like Hildegard, who basically just stacks HP. So, yeah.
And getting Vanessa's skill is also pretty cheap, considering like she's a 4-star, so it only takes 1 champion testament.
Right. Yeah, if you don't actually spiral her all the way, then it's just Knight's Testaments. But I don't know about you guys, but I have like almost 100 Knight's Testaments. I don't know what to do with them. I really would love if they would give us the option to trade Knight's Testaments to Champion's Testaments.
Yeah, like 10 Knight's Testament for 1 champion testament would be like pretty insane, like pretty expensive, but I would appreciate it anyway.
Right. I mean, the thing is that all the other 5-star upgrade materials have small fragment materials that you can trade, right? You have Sunlight Ore, you have Damascus crystals, right? You have key fragments, but we don't have like toilet paper fragments, right? Like, come on, like, it'd be nice to have something for the golden TP, right? Yeah.
That with Sparkling or whatever.
Oh yes, yeah, and then Twinkling Sands got it, right? Because you have Twinkling Grain.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a nice quality life change, and we might see that for the anniversary, where we have more ways for Champion's Testaments. I know a lot of the community is like, come on, Champion's Testaments, please. But we have to see. I mean, both of these spirals, right, are only 1 Champion's Testament if you were to go just for the shared skill, and immunity to knockback has its merits, right? And the damage for Scarlet Geyser is actually pretty decent. The one other interesting thing of Vanessa's kit is they gave her an empowered 4-strike, just like Julieta.
Oh yeah.
In Scarlet Warrior. So initially, this skill was only 4-strike damage increases by 30%, but they bumped it to 40. And then they also gave it an empowered effect when you use the Scarlet Geyser, which the bonus damage for the 4-strike is 850%, and if the enemy has reduced defense, it's 1100 is the mod. So that's really good too. You do have Dread King Rathalos on Flame. And the thing with Dread King is that you got that massive amount of striking haste for 4 strikes. You got the 60% 4-strike bonus damage, which would bring the total 4-strike bonus to 100, right? And then you could technically go a little bit farther and use like Hunter Cerise's shared skill and increase it by another 100%. Those mods do affect the empowered 4-strike mod. So if you were to use... Yeah?
I think it's if you don't have Mars, it would be a good alternative.
Right. I know on the 4-strike central characters, Dread King actually ends up being better than Mars.
Yeah. But I like
Mhm.
usually those are the characters that like spam 4-strike. She's only gonna use after she uses skill 1. So
Yeah, it's gonna be weird though, because there's a lot of, if the boss moves right often, then the axe new combo is C5. They don't 4-strike in their main combo. So the times that you would be 4-striking, or where it would be optimal, is every time the boss moves away. So like if he dashes, or if you have to roll away to avoid a hit, instead of opening with like a C1, you would roll and then hold 4-strike and then strike the 4-strike, right? So additionally, axes don't have the best SP gain.
yeah.
So of course the 4-strike bonus in charge is definitely going to help. So yeah, I think that would have to be something that would be tested, right? Because we can't rely on the DPS simulator to show us.
And they only came out today.
Right. So
I don't think they will be meta defining.
well, probably
They're
not.
fun for people who like the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're not bad spirals. Like,
Mhm.
if you don't have any
Yeah,
good
they're not
alternative,
bad.
like Vanessa is actually a pretty good spiral in my opinion.
Right.
Marty, not so much, but he's still like a decent unit with his spiral.
Mhm.
It's just that I don't know, man. Like, everyone has Yuden, and Yuden has an amazing spiral, and like
Right.
he shares like the same weapon and element. So I don't see any reason to like invest in Marty unless you really like Marty. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's amusing as a pun. His S1 is Spiral Hunter, and he now has a mana spiral. So I think he did what he was looking to accomplish, as he now has a mana spiral. Very bad pun, but it
His
exists.
story arc is complete.
He's like, I can die, an accomplished man. But yeah, we do also, along with the new event and continuing with characters, have one new character, which leads me to believe that instead of having the traditional 2 new characters, they are looking to put more effort into the anniversary, as is probably the last new banner that we'll get. Most likely Fractured Futures, that's coming on the 18th, will be a rerun.
Yeah,
So-
we got Patia. What's her name?
Yeah.
It's
Cassandra?
and Delphi.
Yeah. So we have Incognito Nefaria, right? Or Rhea, as Nadine is saying
I'm
her
like
to be.
Rhea and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like Rhea
I
and
like
stuff.
that.
She's giving it her all. She's really trying to be hip and young. But how old is Nefaria? A couple thousand years? I don't know.
Yeah.
That whole anime trope of him being like, oh, she's like 12,000 years older. She's from ancient sand something or other. I forget the name of the
She is ancient Egyptian stereotype.
Yes. Yeah. She is a pharaoh. So her skills are really interesting, because Girls Night Out is an official animation that has Nadine on it. So, fun fact, but if you shared it with Nadine, you could have 2 Nadines out at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I wonder if
seeing
they
doubles.
will adjust that at all for like the shared skill, or do they keep it as is? They haven't done anything
What if,
different
like-
for like.
Yeah, like what if
know.
when Nadine uses it, Instead of Ladin showing up, it's Nefaria.
That would be pretty
I feel
awesome.
like that's a lot of work, though.
Yeah,
I feel
but it
like
would be
I would pull this skill just to use the animation of like swinging Nadine around, right? Like imagine like
Yeah.
you just every character you have now can do like a little circular dance with Nadine.
Oh my god. Mega Man.
Yes.
Mega Man.
So
Speaking of Mega Man,
Mhm.
I'm getting sad because E-Girl Nefaria is a flame wand. And
She
Mega
is.
Man is already the lowest DPS flame wand if you count team buffs.
yeah, and now you
And
have
team buffs,
another.
no edges.
Hmm.
And there's another one. I'm like, oh great, another one to beat this marvelous piece of technology to the ground.
And this one's interesting too because the skill that she shares, it has a drawing effect, right? So it has an effect that sucks enemies to the center of the skill, and then it also increases the user's energy by 3 stages. So, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the shared skill for Lucretia is 2 energy. So, and it's a cost of 3. So if you put Girls Night Out and Lucretia's skill together, you could have a shared skill combo that would fully energize yourself in each rotation. So, mhm.
This skill combo could be really good on nuke type characters. Nuke S2. There's
Mhm,
G,
mhm.
Catherine, or Karam. Although
Mhm.
Karam probably would want this Agito skill.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Because you could have a fully energized.
yeah, you could, and for most characters, right? Like for Crom, for example, he'd only have to get a 40 hit combo to bring full energy all the way, right? Because if you had Hunter Cerise for water or Gala Cerise for flame in your back line, right, with their chain co ability, you'd be able to fully energize. So, yeah, and it is a cost of 7, so you'd still be able to use Ranzel's skill or any other 3-cost skill in tandem with it. We'll have to see what the SP cost is.
I'm
Mhm.
now imagining Karam taking selfies.
Yeah. That's
What
definitely
is this
ridiculous.
fuck?
You're getting a sister.
Oh
That's
my
not-
god.
Please. We'll have to see though what Ancient Incandescence will do though, because this one's weird. It begins casting, after which the skill will deal flame damage to target and nearby enemies, but movement is possible while casting, and you take damage as normal.
Yeah.
So it's not like Ezilith's skill, right?
I think it's like Azalith's skill before she had iframes on the skill.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, or it could be to the extent of Xena or Mega Man's Leaf Shield.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely
Probably
sure.
Not like that.
It says movement is
I think I
possible,
see
but
why.
I don't know about attacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you're like locked. You can move. So it is kind of similar to like the one. 'Cause I think Xena can attack.
Yeah.
Mega
yeah.
Man like having more attacks while he has shield up. So I feel like it's like that. There's also Mega Man doesn't iframe any of his mode changes. So I think it kind of works like that. And you just wait a couple seconds, still stay locked on.
Yeah.
I'd say it works kind of like a force strike, but you don't have to hold it down. That's
Yeah.
my prediction.
Mhm,
A couple of hours before she drops.
Yeah, right. As she'll be out, at the time of recording, she's not out, right? But, after the time of recording, she should be out. Mhm.
For abilities, we have skill damage, which is. I feel like before, abilities like I don't know, skill damage or skill haste and things like that were like kind of dumb because like if you have skill damage, why not just bump up the damage mods, or
Right.
if you had skill haste, why not just like turn the SP cost lower? But now with skill share, those abilities are looking better.
Right.
So 30% skill damage is amazing.
Yeah.
And
Not
critical
to,
hit equals critical damage, as we've seen that before.
And not to mention, right, with skill damage bonus being with Mars as a strength
Yeah.
dragon, you know, where all the extra skill damage really does matter.
Yeah, and she already has the core ability too, so she can get a lot of skill damage.
Right, and the co-ability I believe is multiplicative with the abilities. So the worm print, like Candy Courier, for example, will be additive to the ability, giving you 70% skill damage, and then you get the multiplicative from the skill damage coab, and then you also get these critical hit equals critical damage 2 ability. This one looks really interesting because if you're critting often, you can get a crit mod of up to like 75%. You can get 3 stacks of this. So the ability activates at maximum 7 seconds, and the ability lasts for 20 seconds. So if you have an inkling of buff time, we're talking 10% buff time, it'll go to 22-second long buff. Which, well, actually, we'll have to check. They changed it for buff skill time, didn't they? So
Yeah.
I don't know if this will interact.
I don't think it does.
We may have to check, because I think abilities are independent of buff skill time.
I think they are. Yeah.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Because like things like double buff are not affected by it.
Right. Well, at a maximum, you'd have anywhere from 50% to 75% crit damage bonus. That's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, obviously she's meant to be paired with the dragon that we can kind of show as.
Which, in my opinion, quick opinion about Horus is he's clearly built for Nepharia, incognito Nepharia, but even then I think he's kind of bad.
We don't have a skill haste dragon for flame, so technically he would be the one that supports and possibly healers would use.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth for a lot of characters though, because especially healers, because flame right now doesn't need a lot of healing, so like the healing we have on the healers is enough, and losing strength and HP, you heal less. So
right. Yeah, the mods will be a little bit worse. I mean, for flame, right? You have. Oh yeah, go ahead, Glace.
I was gonna say that no, I think I only see Emma really taking advantage of Horus, just for the attack rate, and any other future fire buffers, of course. Fire Patia.
Please, you forget about Halloween Mim. Halloween Mim at nature
I
is a
think
support.
also wants Mars because you want the big damage.
See, but the problem is you're not a DPS unit, so I don't know if Mars is that good of a value, right, for Halloween Mim, where the attack rate increases the SP gain for an axe, right? I mean, technically speaking, with Xiao Jing shared skill, the value of having a defense down debuff zone is a little bit less novel, but you do have the ability to use both of them, so it just depends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Horus. It's just like attack rate is like, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong. Attack rate is always good, but the thing is, he doesn't give you strength or skill damage. It's only critical rate, and like it's good having critical rate. 50% is a lot. You're critting all the time, but you don't have like anything else. It's, like you see Mars or DKR or Konohana Sakuya Cerberus, they have big strength mods and or skill damage. This is only crit rate, so you're increasing your critical hate, but you're not increasing the base of your damage, so the critical hit, when you get a critical hit, it matters less. I feel like. I don't know. I could be wrong. He could be amazing, but that's just how I feel right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see with how they, translate the how much SP gain, right, is given through the attack rate. 30% is already a lot for Shadow, and they do wonders with that weapon. So we'll have to see what they end up doing, with Flame.
Yeah. And Flame already has Marth, which grants attack rate. So like, but this doesn't like stack with the attack rate. So like, if you had 2 Marths or 1 Marth, anyways, you can get beyond 50% attack rate, which is pretty insane. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's an interesting dragon. Like we've never seen this before. So
right. Although the cap is 50%, so we'll have to see.
Oh yeah, but like the cap is 50% for buffs. I don't think the base from your dragon counts on the buff cap. So in theory, you can get 70% attack rate with horrors, I think.
Oh well, that is true. Actually, I didn't think about it in that way. So we'll have to see.
70% attack rate is insane. That sounds like, I don't know. It's even gonna be hard to combo with some units like swords. It's gonna be hard to do the C2 force strike with 70% attack rate. Overall, though, a lot of characters are using C5 now, so I don't think it matters too much.
So yeah, do you guys want to talk about the new worm prints that were added to the treasure trade?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Yeah, let me pull these up here. So we had 2 new worm prints with the new Gala remix. We have Moonlight Party. It's HP 70% equals critical damage plus 22%, and skill haste plus 6%. So I know we were talking off camera that this is kind of more of a niche print. There are quite a few options that we have already for critical damage as well as skill haste. So I don't know how applicable this print will be. I actually purchased it myself. So I did purchase it, and I was playing around with Incognito Nefaria. I was using this print, Moonlight Party, and Candy Couriers on her. Backline was Serena, Yuya, and Cerise, I believe was what I was running. So, and then I just used Mars. Yeah, it was okay. I didn't really necessarily see too much of a difference. I'd have to double check, but I know the way that they've done the mods for Incognito Nefaria, it takes one combo, one full C5, and about 4 additional auto attacks to fill up her skill 1. So I don't know if this skill haste is enough for a breaking point. I'd have to do the math to calculate that, but I do believe some skill haste would be necessary to speed up her SP acquisition, right? So clearly this print was designed with her in mind. I just don't know if the numbers make sense, especially when, LERART, you were saying Primal Crisis is also a very strong option.
You see that, like, Nefaria doesn't use Q2?
Yeah, so for the most part, skill 2, right, has a charge time of or cast time of almost 6 seconds.
Yeah, it's really long.
It's really cool though, because she has an incantation the whole time, right? So she speaks the entire 6 seconds of that cast.
Yeah.
So it's very much like Megumin in nature from Konosuba, which is really amusing. But yeah. So yeah, it's just hard to justify the S2 because that whole time you're not critting or you're not attacking to take advantage of her crit damage. And the mods are only 2.2k. So the only time I could see S2 being relevant would be like for break damage. if right before the boss breaks, you just pause and start charging the S2 and then unload your whole kit. So yeah.
GLACE?
Yeah, I'm back. I
Okay.
don't know why I disconnected. Sorry about that. Should I restart what I was going on about?
Yeah, you can just say whatever, and I'll just try my best to edit.
All right. Okay, so I was gonna say Moonlight Party I think could be really good, like just theory crafting for Hunter Vanessa, because she is a lot of the monster units are built around dealing more crits, and critical damage is always good. Because I don't know about Hunter Cerise, but I know Hunter Berserker and Hunter Vanessa both have debuff Devastators where they get more critical.
Oh yeah.
Based on the enemy having a debuff.
Right.
And she inflicts that with just her Force Strike, so she can keep that up constantly. So critical damage could be really good for her. And the skill haste could also be really good for keeping her S2 up in Rage Guard, because that can always be kind of tight, especially in Tartarus.
Right.
I often do find it hard to try and get an Enraged Guard up between the third and fourth portal opening.
Yeah, that definitely does have some value. Plus, if you tie in with a bow coab, you can get up to 21% skill haste.
True.
So those might be notable breakpoints, or at least efficient values to get her S2 up more often. I think it has a pretty astronomically high SP cost, if I'm not mistaken.
It is pretty high, yeah.
Somewhere around like 15k or something like that. Something really, really high. And then we also have to note that since Vanessa's Force Strike is a unique Force Strike where it only hits one time, the SP generation on it is very low as well. So that's the trade-off for her applying the higher level Force Strike defense down, is that she's not generating as much SP.
I would also imagine this would be pretty good on Galaluka. You can combine RR and Moonlight Party.
Yeah, Resounding Rendition.
Crit damage, yeah.
Yeah, because then you'll get the 6% right crit, and then the 22% crit damage. But then you were saying, LERART?
I still prefer Primal Crisis still overall. If you want crit damage, I think Primal Crisis is one of the best sources.
Right. Yeah, there is this fine dance that you play with crit damage and strength, right? So if you have all crit damage and no strength, or all crit rate and no strength, right? Then they play off of each other so well that having none of one of them, right? Strength, for example, being the bigger kicker here, your crits just won't hit as hard. And I think that we'll have to take a look into the crit damage calculation, but I believe it's not quite even 1.5 damage mods. I think it's like 1.3 initially is where it starts.
What crit? It's 1.7.
Is it? It feels really underwhelming for crit damage mods. The initial critting is pretty good.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But when you add crit mods themselves, the value is diminished.
Oh yeah. The case when I said about the combination of Moonlight Party and RR, but like Primal Crisis is the better crit damage. I meant the combination of Primal Crisis with like something like the Worm Clone Duo, which is one great stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. That's a really good pairing, right? Because Worm Clan Duo, even though it was a limited print from New Year's, it has 17% crit mod and then 30% skill damage. So then you're rounding out the set, obviously Primal Crisis having Flurry Devastation, which is 12% crit on a 15 combo. And then you also have the strength component as well, Flurry Strength. So yeah, Primal Crisis is a very, very good all-around print. And for those that don't have Primal Crisis or who missed the Monster Hunter event, the equivalent would be Breakfast at Valerio's.
Yeah.
So I believe that doesn't have Flurry crit, it's just a flat crit rate with Flurry Strength. So it's I think it's like an HP 70 equals like 7 or 11% crit or something.
It's 8% crit
8%?
rate,
Yeah, it's a little
and
bit worse than Primal Crisis.
and the strength is the same. It's the same flower strength.
Right.
20% for 15 hits.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit worse, but I mean, it's
Right.
pretty good still.
Yeah, the 4% crit overall is negligible.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's definitely a good alternative. Like I said, if you missed the Monster Hunter collaboration, and chances are that it'll come back. So maybe we'll have another chance to get Primal
It's
Crisis.
one of the best worm prints we have so far.
Yeah, especially when you add combo time. Any characters that have access to combo time is just a huge bonus in order to keep those buffs active. So I think if we didn't have combo time, right, Nobunaga, Fleur, or not Fleur, I don't think Fleur has it. It's Fritz,
Mitsuhide has it.
Azalith, right? All these characters, Dragon Yule, Cleo, that have combo time in their chain co-abilities, they really do a huge service in the backline to keep those buffs active. So, yeah, especially when Dragon Yule, Cleo, and Mitsuhide, right, have crit rate as their normal co-ability.
Yeah.
So that combination right there is very, very potent, because then you have 22% crit between the Coab and Primal Crisis, and then you also have the standard crit rate for weapons, which all weapons is 2%, except Axe, which is 4. So, yeah, that's going to give you a minimum of 24% crit rate between the combination of two. And that's a really good sweet spot. There's a lot of good math that shows, I think, 24% is like the golden spot for crit if you're using like a crit dragon or crit mods. Anything beyond that starts to become diminish in value in terms of crit rate style characters.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We also have the other new print, which is a 4-star print, Dance of Twin Blossoms. This is full HP equals healing plus 15%, and skill damage plus 20%. So, I was trying to think of a character that this would work well on, and I don't think that there is one. This might just be a strange combination for Skillshare purposes.
Yeah.
I
can't
could be
think of
like,
Reinwald, but
yeah. All I can think of is Heinwald because he is an attacking healer.
Right.
I don't think we really have any other characters like that.
yeah,
Mhm,
and even Reinwald, like there are better prints for him.
Right. Yeah, because I was trying to think like, oh, like 20% skill damage. Like we also have Kung Fu Masters, which is also 20% skill damage, right? And you could get, a support axe. I was thinking like maybe Amane, but then I remembered Amane's S1 heals. Her S2 is crit rate, so she doesn't do any damage unless you're going to her Skillshare. But then at that point, she's an axe, which means her SP generation is very low, because the combo for her to do a C5 is very slow. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I guess technically you could pair this print with any of the 30% skill damage prints. Wormclan Duo, Resounding Rendition, Heralds of Hinamoto, right? You'd overcap by 10%, right? But you get to the full 40% skill damage. And then the benefit of it would be, utilizing this full HP equals healing, which I don't necessarily know if that's enough of a trade-off for it to be worth investing in this print. So
Yeah, so like maybe if you like the art, maybe because I know some people legit do collect worm prints for the art.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it has a pretty cute art. So, but yeah, I think that kind of does it for this print as of now. Maybe there'll be a new adventure, or when the elemental rebalance comes around, we'll be able to see more usages for these niche prints, as finding new ways to raise the strength of the elements to Shadow's level most likely will not just be a stat buff. Like, they're not going to universally change numbers. I feel there's a mechanics change coming. So,
Oh yeah,
and we
I think
kinda
it's
see
gonna
that.
be
Mhm.
like mostly damage mods
Yeah, right.
for the most part.
We see, and this is also added into the important regarding goodwill gestures for purchasable items affected by system changes. So on the 11th, they announced this very strange report, and this kind of feeds into us talking about different kinds of changes that are going to take place. So they have a removal of weapon and worm print storage. So right away, to me, that's interesting, because that means that the way in which we go about obtaining weapons is going to change, as well as they have a removal of purchase of unbinding items or unbinding packs for weapons and worm prints as well. So any of the adamantite ingots, Damascus ingots, steel bricks, gold keys, etc., those will no longer be purchasable. So, to me, right away I was thinking that this would be the weapon and worm print encyclopedia that we were considering, right? Because if in fact the way that this works is once you've unlocked the item, you can simply use it on as many characters as you want without limit, then there would be no need for storage spaces or limited amount of spaces, right?
Yeah.
So, because I'm looking, right, so they're giving away a goodwill gesture of 300 Wormite for the storage packs. They are removing the weapon storage +5 and worm print storage +5 expansions that were purchasable with Diamantium and Wormite. And they are returning the Diamantium or Wormite you used times the amount of times you expanded those slots, which I think I've done a couple times, so that'll be nice to have some of that back. They're also removing the purchase packs. It says players will be able to have one of each weapon and worm print and can increase the number of each that can be equipped on team members by upgrading each weapon and worm print. So
that kind of has me feeling a bit weird, because the specifically upgrade and not like by unbinding. I hope that you can do it by unbinding. So, for instance, if you have like for auto teams, you have like a max unbound odd sparrows print.
right,
You just stick that on everyone and not have to worry about anything. And like, I hope they aren't throwing like a new currency at us to complicate things.
Yes. So like you have to grind even more.
Right.
Yeah.
I could definitely see, right, if we did the unbind strategy. Unbinds come for 4, right? So if you get the worm print, you have it at 0. And then maybe the first unbind doesn't really do anything, but then the second and thereafter allows you to equip on the same number of adventurers, right? So 2 unbinds is 2 adventurers, 3 is 3 adventurers, 4 is 4 adventurers, right? For your whole team. So yeah, that's a good thought, Glace. I definitely think that is a particular route that they could go. I'm interested to see, though, it says if a player has more than one of a particular weapon, the extras will be converted into materials or other items. In addition, certain weapons will be removed. So,
I think this is referring to the Lucky Hatsune, the Lucky Paddle from the first New Year's, because they did specifically mention that in the news.
Right. They
I
did.
think
They're refunding. If you could buy 2 of them. If you had Dragalia on an Android and on iPhone, you could buy the pack twice and get 2 of them on your account.
Oh,
So
well,
I
that's
think they
pretty
said
cool.
they'll be refunding, like if you have an extra one, they said they'll be refunding it for I think 150 worm, right?
Yeah,
So-
120 I see in the news here, but yeah.
Oh, it's 120. Okay.
Yeah. They're
Makes
giving
sense.
you a single pull out of it, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, and I think things like I don't know the fortune from the, like Fire Emblem event.
Mm-hmm.
We got two since like there was a rerun.
Right.
So I have two of them. They're probably just gonna
Folkbanger.
yeah,
Right.
or maybe yeah that one.
We also have
My
the
bad.
Halloween
Or-
weapons, right? That ran twice.
Yeah, the Halloween weapons,
The Christmas weapons.
New Year's from
Mhm.
second year
Dr-
that had bamboo blade and things like that. I think
Right.
those are just gonna be removed because there's no way to craft them.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It would be interesting if they removed them, though, because they would currently count as weapon skins. Unless we're currently or going to be getting a new monetized route for weapon skins.
That
So-
would be cool.
Yeah,
Right,
I
hopefully.
hope we
you
do get
know.
something like that.
That's a possibility with the weapon encyclopedia coming in, right? As I've been asking and as I've been talking around, we've all been wanting a rainbow weapon skin, the same kind of weapon that the characters hold when you summon a 5-star, right? As you see that rainbow weapon come down. That would be a very cool skin to have. It'd be a really cool skin if they rewarded that if you collected every weapon of a single type. So like every blade in the game. And then like the final reward was a rainbow weapon skin. Or even if they sold it. That
I
would
think if
simply
they
be really
sold
cool.
it, we could call it the Mark of the Whale, and I think that'd be funny.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably just get it for my favorite weapons, right? And then
Yeah, I'd just probably get it for like summer Patia and just regular Patia, and that's it.
Right. Yeah, for your favorite characters. So, yeah. The other thing that has me interested is this goodwill gesture for worm prints. They're saying if a player has more than one of a particular worm print, the extras will be used to unbind the worm print or converted into eld water or other items. So, if the player has used any of the following unbind items from purchase packs, they will receive the same amount: Damascus ingots, adamantite ingots, steel bricks, golden keys, silver keys, etc.
I'm gonna get so much.
I'm gonna have so many Damascus ingots, guys.
Yeah, me too. Because I spent like more than 20.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have so many. I'm gonna get so much shelled water, so many keys, so many ingots.
Right.
It's gonna be crazy.
I probably should not have, in hindsight, dismantled the amount of 5-star IO weapons that I had with rupees. As I will no longer be getting those Damascus ingots back that I have dismantled with. So,
I mean, then again, you can't really use Damascus ingots on Agito weapons, which
Right.
is the most powerful weapon right now. So
right. Yeah. And, who's to say if we don't have a High Dragon Tier 3 weapon coming around that could, in fact, be a 5-star? I could see it being a 6, I guess. I don't know. I mean, anything's possible.
I mean, at least in terms of shadow, it's gonna be hard to beat attack rate.
Right. Yeah. So they would definitely have to increase the weapon mods. See, the bigger thing is weapons that do damage are kind of irrelevant when you have free shared skills that have better mods. So, I mean, you have Ranzel's shared skill, right? And
That is free. Yeah.
it does amazing work. It also has the utility of debuffing, so or removing a buff, if it will. So buff removal. So definitely makes the High Dragon skill a little bit lackluster in value. Obviously, the stats are still good. They're very comparable if you're just using the weapon for the stats to the 6-star tier 1 weapon. We'll have to see what they plan on doing. Obviously, this is the tip of the iceberg for announcements, as they did state that they will be sharing more information as we get closer to anniversary.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
I'm feeling pretty excited.
Laura, are you there?
Oh yeah. So like, since we mentioned the high dragon weapons and how like Agito weapons are mostly better, there's like just a small thing worth mentioning in my opinion. In a lot of cases, high dragon weapons are better than Agito for AI specifically, because they keep using the third skill.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't use the bonus from like the strength buff or whatever,
Right.
and they keep using the defense buff. So I think wind is the most notable one. Wind and water. It's not a DPS increase for those elements on AI, because they keep using the third skill,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, high dragon weapons are better for AI.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's definitely a good
Yeah.
point.
But like,
So-
it's such a small thing. It's such a niche thing. It's not worth farming to, in my opinion.
Right.
So,
It may be worth farming, though, if there's a weapon encyclopedia.
oh yeah. But
So that would definitely change things.
Well, I'm a bit biased, so I would like to start off with the one I commissioned from this artist. Is
Oh.
this really cute. It's in the style of one of the stickers that you use in game. And
Okay.
It's Summer Patia, saying, "Let's have some fun." And I just think it's really cute, man. She's just having a blast, and she's really fun to commission.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that.
Yeah, it's definitely an adorable piece, and it's done in a really professional fashion. It looks as if it
Yeah.
would be a true sticker that we would have in game.
When I send it to some other friends without the little gray bar that keeps like, since I only have the true file,
Mm-hmm.
I sent it in one of our group chats, and people were like, "Hey, yo, did that get data mined? What? When's that coming
it
out?"
does look
I'm
official.
like,
Right.
yeah. I legit did fool them for a bit because
That's
it's
awesome.
just that high quality.
Yeah. No, that's definitely awesome. So, yeah, and the artist that did this piece for GLACE is at Satsumikan, SATSUMIKAN, over on Twitter. We'll have a link to this piece as well as their profile in the description below. And GLACE, what other pieces do you have for us today?
They recently did this really beautiful piece of Chrissy and Joaquin. No,
Mm-hmm.
the shading, like on the characters in the background, is gorgeous, and I love it. And also, we're getting some more art of Chrissy and Joaquin, and I feel like we don't do enough art of those characters. It's
Absolutely,
great.
yeah. Yeah, for the both of them, especially Joaquin. Shout out to Devin Mack, and I definitely think he'll be excited about this one as well. This is a phenomenal piece too, and you can see there's a lot more going on in the picture than just on the surface, right? So you have it looks like they could be on the field of battle or returning from the field of battle.
Yeah.
You have what looks to be like a blood stain right on Kirsty's cheek. You see Joaquin is like casually looking over, hesitantly, right? And
The background is also a bit red, and I'm pretty sure I see flame sparks here, along with snow.
Right, yeah. There's a lot of detail. There's a lot of attention to detail here that makes it really awesome. Definitely a piece I would revisit, to ponder on what is happening here. So, yeah. Again, that's the piece by Satsumi-kun, or Satsumi-kan. And I believe GLACE has one more piece for us as well.
Yeah. We have This one is just showcasing all their mains for all their elements. There's Ezolith, there's Mitsuba, there's Mitsuhide, the two Mitsus. There's Linyo, and there's Galacleo, of course. All hail Galacleo.
Yes. The true queen of wands, Galacleo, and her Ancient Ray. So, speaking of which, I actually did just unlock Ancient Ray last night with the overflowing amount of Shadow Tomes that we had. I was very excited to do so. It's actually a really fun shared skill. So,
yeah, I was talking to Straight Laced a while ago, and he said that he really liked Ray. And so he legit had me considering using it, but I'm like, I already spent tomes for Summer Patia's nuke skill.
Right.
I don't want to run out of Shadow Tomes just yet.
Yeah. If you're going for the ultimate shared skill collab combo, you use Ancient Ray and Glacial Blossom, right? So the skill from Galacleo, Ancient Ray, and Lily, a Glacial Blossom. And Ancient Ray will clear the wolves. It will always clear the wolves. It just does it for you. It's super, super nice. And then once the overwhelming hunger into Steel Vitality cycle goes, you can use the Glacial Blossom to freeze Volk and skip the tornadoes. So it's pretty nice there. Obviously, if you don't kill all the wolves, he skips overwhelming hunger and goes right into Steel Vitality, which basically will just heal him to full if no one has plague. So yeah, it's a good way to kind of deal with his mechanics. As a wand user, you can take both those skills, and it's pretty good. So yeah, again, guys, these chibis are really, really adorable. I'm very jealous that they have Mitsuba. I do not. So
I really do want Mitsuba because
yes.
she's like really good, and I already have the dagger built for Tiki. And I'm like, what? There's another character I could be using that dagger on.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, again, it's at Satsumikan, SATSUMIKAN, and we'll have a link for all three pieces over on the description, and you'll be able to find them over on Twitter. So yeah, send them some love. Go ahead and like and retweet and follow them on Twitter. And yeah, that does it for today, guys. Glace, LERART, thanks for coming on.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man.
Yes, and guys, thank you. If you've listened to the end, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. We have quite a few surprises on the horizon, special guests that will be coming, that will be revealed in a later date in our Discord. So go ahead and join our Discord if you'd like to stay up to date on the podcast. Link will be in the description below. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, let us know how you're enjoying the podcast, anything that you'd like us to talk about in particular in regards to events, everyday gameplay, maybe different terms or things that you're not understanding. We'd love to be able to explain it. And go ahead and follow GLACE on Twitter, and also join the Church of Patia if you feel the same way as GLACE. We'll have a link for that, as always, in the description below. The Discord server for that and the church is growing daily, so you'll want to make sure that you get in to be an OG reciprocant of the church. And be sure to follow LERART on Twitter as well, guys. We got to get LERART that Twitter clout. He's growing steadily, so be sure to jump on the LERART hype train. And let us know in the comments below if you've made it this far. I want to see LERART hype train. So, yeah. Thanks again, guys. Anything else you want to say to our listeners before we sign off?
We really are being like the really lost team in Okada. Like, ooh, stay tuned. We got stuff coming.
Yeah. Thank you for playing Dragalia Lost.
Thank you, Mr. Lost.
All right, boys. We'll see you in the next one.
Hey guys, it's me, Orthodox. I hope you all enjoyed that video. I'd like to take this moment to thank my Patreon supporters.
Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to make such amazing content. And a super special thank you to my patron Lucas for becoming a baby Brunhilde's bestie. So thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your support. And if you haven't considered supporting me on Patreon, a little bit goes a long way. We've even got a special membership lounge and VC for supporters of the channel. Thanks so much, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.